Soon, DPS is Scan. Los Angeles Valiant.
Soon is one of the best tracers I feel like in this league.
My playstyle with Tracer is always aggressive, because these are high mechanical heroes. We need to aim, we need to dash, we need to do a lot of things in the same moment.
Oh, pretty soon though, winning that battle.
I'm from France, so I'm a baguette. We have Koreans, we have Canadian, and me and Uncle, we're French, and we come to the team. Yeah, for me, it's a good family.
Los Angeles Valiant needed that so badly.
Have a team is really important in Overwatch. If you don't have the good synergy, it makes a huge difference during the match.
LA! Final moments, the Valiant make it happen.
And if you didn't get to see a heck of a lot of Overwatch before the Overwatch League kicked off, you may not know too much about Soon and I guess the French legacy that was left in the competitive scene before we got to this point. But obviously part of an incredible team called Rogue. Unco was his teammate. Both Soon and Unco, by the way, are world champions in previous FPS games. So these guys are career gamers, career professionals. They've been doing this for quite some time. And this is probably one of the biggest challenges, of course, of the Overwatch League so far. A huge opportunity to step up, because realistically, the Valiant didn't get to play any of those really top three teams in the preseason or week one.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for the Valiant in this match against NYXL. We'll go through some of the subs that are happening here. It's just two. You have Janus subbing in for Mono. So in the past, we've seen Janus come in on Control. This time, we're going to see him on Horizon Lunar Colony. And on the side of the Los Angeles Valiant, you have Silk Thread coming in for Agilities.
All right, give me some of that. That's a decent move, of course. Silk Thread shown to be incredibly proficient. Although some of the ways that he has been used have kind of overlapped with what we've seen Agilities play. We've seen excellent Genji play. We've also seen the Junkrat. We've seen quite a few looks from this guy. So definitely a reasonable substitution we're bringing into the team at this time. But we're talking about this in the break, man. We kind of said that the Junkertown was kind of the map that the Valiant really needed to win.
Yeah, it seems to be the map that the Korean rosters have struggled with the most here in the Overwatch League. Has been Junkertown, but they're able to take Junkertown. I don't want to say with relative ease, but once they got into point B, it seemed like the Valiant just stayed on that comp for a little bit too long to make something work. I think coming into Horizon Lunar Colony, though, they do have a very good chance in this map, does the Valiant, right? You can put out a lot of different strategies. We see sometimes like the Moira and the Sombra on offense. We've seen teams, the Halt and the Hook on the defense, up to the Junkrat on the high ground. So there's a lot of things that the Valiant could throw at NY in this matchup.
And we talked about some stats, of course, from the previous round, something we didn't really get to see, but most importantly, we were discussing just how frightening the tank and support play was from New York there. I think it was Meko that, was 25 eliminations, 2 deaths. Jonak, again, put in a huge performance. Mind you, he wasn't playing Zenyatta for the entirety of the map. He started off actually playing that Bastion, but he again put in a huge performance. Again, very similar sort of line, not dying very much, getting, mid-20 in terms of those eliminations. So again, with that D.Va play, we got to see it firsthand. We got to see just how much that, Meko was able to do on his own in terms of just diving these supports. D.Va is pretty strong right now. Micro rockets are a thing. But again, being able to do that kind of stuff unsupported is something we see from these Korean teams, by the way, because they really know when to pick their opportunities to find these squishy targets.
Well, for me, Jonak in that first map, he's at like 7k healing and then around 10,000 damage on the Zenyatta. It's just so much extra damage that you're getting, out of a support player now. So it's just such a huge win for this roster when you have him in the lineup now that he's 18 or didn't play during the preseason. Between the damage that he's putting down himself, the Discords and the Harmony Orbs as well, it just provides so much utility.
So let's talk about the substitutions then a little bit. We mentioned Silk Thread, but now we have Janus coming into this roster. So what do we expect to see from New York? What does that indicate to us?
Well, we've only seen Janus play on Control for this roster, so maybe you see them go with a little bit more of an aggressive dive, right? If Mono is in, Mono can play Reinhardt, Winston, or Risa. We've seen him play at a very high level. Maybe we see a little bit more aggression come out of NYXL on Horizon Lunar Colony. So maybe that's the plan here out of NYXL. I think you have Libero in the game. We've seen him play Genji before. You have Saviel be obviously, world-class tracer, so you can play that, real strong dive comp if you want to go for that high ground on the offensive side of things.
Well, it's about time to head to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Map 2 is on the books and on the cards. At least we hope it'll be a very, very staunch performance from the Valiant here to bring the series back, at least to a parity state. A little bit of wavering in that first map cost them. I mean, they had so many opportunities, Matt. Their defense looked so good until they were cut apart in a fight that didn't require any ultimates, when ostensibly defenders should have had the advantage. They let their backline get picked apart.
And we talked about how this is a huge matchup for both of these teams, right? Almost like a proving grounds of sorts. It's huge for Silkthread.
Fire in a way.
Silkthread as an individual player, right? I mean, this is probably the biggest match he's competed in thus far. Going up against some of the best competition in the world here. So
he's pretty gung-ho though, I spoke to Ted in the makeup room where we were getting all, daubed up, gussied up for you guys, and he said, if this doesn't work out, I'll just go back to college. I'm all Gucci here. I'm like, fair enough, bro. So at least, he didn't appear to be feeling the pressure despite being maybe one of the less proven players on this roster going up against the toughest opposition they've faced so far in this season.
I never really thought about that because they have to do so much work on you. With the makeup, you're able to have such long conversations with these players because you see all the rosters for the day come on in. I'm not in there for that long.
Yeah,
so
see, when I walk out, I wondered
like.
why they called me Lazarus, and now I realize that he was like the character in the Bible that gets brought back to life, and now I realize what the joke is. So, great one. Yeah, no, I get to hang out in there a fair bit, Matt. You know what I mean? Take my time.
They work on you a bit, but hey, they make you look decent for the broadcast.
Yeah, it's passable.
Passable.
I'll take what I can get these days, Matt.
On defense, the Valiant, they'll be going with Silkthread playing Genji here, soon playing Tracer, so they're going to go pretty aggressive on defense. There's not going to be like an Orisa here, no Widowmaker on the defense for the Valiant. NYXL, look at this lineup they have out here now. Potentially, okay. So
that's what we should think when we see Janus, right?
Yeah. Janus playing Rein, you'll have Meko playing Diva, Savior B will be playing Roadhog, so they're going to go quad tank here.
Okay,
Lucio for the speed, and then Moira for a ton of ult.
Yeah. The Reinhardt is going to protect the rest of the team as they cross. There's no Widowmaker for the Valiant right now, so they can't really get picked off as they go. But look at Jonak already, 61% ult percentage. We're going to coalesce this right around the corner.
Yeah, with so many big targets, and they're just so close together, you're able to get so much AoE healing. See, he's already at 85% towards his ult, putting down a lot of damage as well. A coalescence already here for Jonak. Oh, by the way, Envy falls. Fate has fallen as well.
Yeah. Don't worry about the play-by-play, bro. Just watch my boy Jonak give him the big slap. Yep, Let's go, New York.
The emote there at the end.
And I've got to say, right, you often see Biotic Orb used by Moira players, mostly for offensive purposes there. It doesn't recharge a Biotic Grasp for healing, but it does do annoying damage. But you're going up against the Diva, right? She can just eat up your orb. So why not? Know you're going to take so much poke damage, throw a healing orb out in close quarters and give your team all the juicy health.
And in one way, this is a way to force them down from the high ground here on point B, right? You just get these big tanks, especially with no Junkrat on the other side. Get onto the point. You see Silkthread's going to use a Dragon Blade there. Jonak takes him out using the Coalescence, providing so much healing and damage for NYXL.
I said Jonak's going in with the Coalescence. They're not going to need the Dragon Balls to bring back most of Excelsior at this stage. It's good progress. Losing Janus might have hurt them, but the Reinhardt out on the point is always going to be vulnerable. It's a good response, though. Envy's actually found himself multiple kills in this fight, 3 by my count. And Silkthread finally fires up, but that was a little bit of a nail biter.
You see NYXL make some changes. Libero is getting very close to a grab, but you're going to switch off of it here. You're going to have Libero play Genji. Jonak will go back to Zen. Oracle play Mercy. So this is a little bit more standard of what you've seen out of NYXL. The Valiant now have some ultimates to work with here, though. Kariv does have Valkyrie and Envy with a self-destruct.
See my boy Kariv going to be out there like Shenron, bringing them all back. With the Valiant now, just need to be very careful not to lose that first pick. Meko, self-destruct is there. He was just... he was a terror in the night in that previous map. Kariva gets taken down first. Again, one of the first to fall these fights. You can't let this happen.
Savior B gets Kariv and Unko within like 5 seconds of each other. Just taking out both supports here. It's going to be Kariv using Valkyrie off of the spawn here. It'll be Envy with a self-destruct, drops on the point. All the kills here going in favor of NYXL. Kariv brings Soon back into the fight, and Fate as well. Savior B here with a Pulse Bomb. See if he can connect maybe here onto Unko. Drops it low, not able to get it.
Well, this has been fortunate. The Valiant been able to bounce back in this fight, not giving away a tick and buying enough time for Kariv to get back. But that's the one clip on towards Unko. Jonak was just brought back, so that's a Zenyatta, a difference of 1. And now with Kariv falling yet again, eventually it was going to happen. As soon as the Valkyrie timed out, he would have been in trouble. And this is scary. Now the Transcendence for Jonak. Just the icing on the cake for the Excelsior now to hold this point, to pressure in. Dragon Blade here, but it's a Transcendence. He's timed it well, though. It's just timed out, and Jonak's forced to back away. Envy comes in. The Doomfist makes an appearance. Jonak's pasted up against the wall. And once again, Los Angeles try and keep themselves in this fight.
It looks like they may stabilize here on defense. Meko will take out Envy. He will eventually get demeched. Savior B still here, but that should be the fight. It'll go to the Valiant there. There's some progress is made by NYXL. We'll see coming into this next fight, though, because you know that there's no support ultimates online for the Valiant. You saw both of them come out there during the fight. Libero does have a Dragon Blade, getting very close to it, 88%. He'll get
no!
he gets these picks out of nowhere with the right click, so you lose Unko right away. Now Libero getting very close to the Dragon Blade, 98% and counting. Maybe you pull it out here. It's a big kill, though. They do get Jonak out of the fight. Kareev will get the res onto Unko, so it's a big turn of events there for the Valiant.
I mean, again, if you're a Valiant fan, that is very frightening. Yours and Yana getting picked off at long range there by someone like Jonak. Yo, Unko's going to respect this. I mean, he's been considered one of the best ends in the West for so long now, but yo, this is a completely different stage now. He's got to tighten up a little bit more. Libero has a Dragon Blade, Zoom's fallen early in the fight, but Unko's found Savior, so both traces are missing for the time being. Arc does have the Valkyrie, so he's used that immediately to bring Savior back up in the fight. Kareev's a little bit away from his own now. Dragon Blade time from Silver already found Jonak to start it off, and Libero's going to try and respond. They're going to clash swords. The feint and riposte might be an issue, but Unko's found Libero to shut him down. Again, take away some of the momentum of the Excelsior. Janus is also low, but he has primal perfect timing. He had 1 HP, now going in. Unclear if he has the teammates to help him with this one, and now his health is getting stripped away from him. He gets knocked into the wall by the rocket punch, and be bringing that extra damage. And Excelsior just need to pause.
Fate uses his Primal Rage as well to start knocking some players back, and Libero held on to that Dragon Blade for such a long time. I wonder if NYXL thought that either Unko or Kareev had the support ult going into the fight yet again. As they come in, there's a few opportunities for them to use it, and they opt not to. Here's going to be Transcendence coming in for NYXL. They're able to get Unko and Silk Thread here. Kareev, though, uses the Valkyrie for the Valiant. He brings back Silk Thread. Then everybody just gets toppled on here for NYXL. Now you got nothing really out of that Transcendence.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you lose the fight, but no, the Valiant wouldn't have to use the Valkyrie there if it had been a cleaner dive. I mean, if the Valiant jump on NYXL, knowing or at least believing that they don't have Transcendence, and then Transcendence gets popped, that's pretty frightening. That's not what you expect. They could have lost the game there, actually. So good on Kareev for getting in. Mercy does these things. Match just brings people back to life. That's kind of her thing. And with him able to do that with the Valkyrie, it kept him in this. It could have been scary. Fate did well to jump in and respond as fast as he did, but that was risky. Oh, Libero walks into that one. I didn't think he was in range, man, but that's going to slow the Excelsior again.
They're going to have to back on up here. They do have Valkyrie. For NYXL, I'm not going to use it right now. They're not in a position to make a push. Silk Thread with the Dragon Blade. And you have Unko with his own Transcendence coming in for the Valiant. So can they force out the Valkyrie before the Blade? Maybe you actually can connect with that Mercy as soon as she pops Valkyrie, right? You can kind of slice on through her. We'll see what Silk Thread can get done with it.
Again, position now to jump down from. It's a deep dive, but he hasn't quite found the target he was looking for. And now he has a dash, but he's kind of afraid to use it. If he doesn't get a kill immediately after using that, it wouldn't have had any mobility. So that kind of fizzles. And we're soon falling to Libero there. The McCree obviously being quite lethal to the Tracer now. Silk Thread has to get it done the old-fashioned way. Jonak's back in the corner. He's getting killed. Defense makes just to keep him alive, but there it is. It's going to be the stab in the back, and Fate found him with a Primal Rage. Fists are flying, and so far the Valiant are coming out on top, but it's going to be 12 rounds and more in this boxing match. The Valiant recover again. Silk Thread close to get another Dragon Blade. He wants more, but he needs to respect the Winston.
Now for NYXL, these pushes have not worked out, whether they're going for the high ground or going for that bottom left-hand side. Libero getting close to a Deadeye. Maybe you can get that pop Kareev out of the sky as soon as he uses Valkyrie. Unko with Transcendence here, and Silk Thread
is the dive.
Mind you, already very close to another Blade, 90%.
Trying to pressure Libero here. Don't give the McCree any room, but he's looking for a Deadeye! He threads the needle! Unko falls down to that one, immediately resurrected. Mercy meta. That's how it works. Libero rolling back, and this is what the Valiant are trying to do. Aggressive dive, pressure the McCree, give him nowhere to run, get rid of the main damage source from the Excelsior, and then just smash Jonak into little pieces there. Not the kind of puzzle that's worth it for a rainy day.
And as soon as they actually connect with Unko at the beginning of the fight, Libero with that Deadeye, Janus and Sabi will be dive all the way in the back because they know Kareev is going for the res. Kareev uses Valkyrie, brings Unko right back in.
This is so big. 11 seconds left, and the Valiant so far have shut the door in NYXL's face. It's only one tick, but this could be big. Envy's ultimate is the key one here. We're going to have a Primal Rage and a Pulse Bomb coming up, and now it's on. We see the dive straight into the need to do with Janus. Quickly gets discorded. Nice use of the Zenyatta damage boost there for Unko, and then he's found Libero. Unko rolling this fight. It's like a unicorn map, or the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is a rare thing to see. NYXL, generally on this map, have looked confident and comfortable, but this time they get completely stumped. Yo, let's head back and hear a little bit about what the Valiant were talking about in this game, see what the comms were like in this game so far.
Ready to go? I'm ready. Yeah. No. Yeah, me. Send. Okay. Don't go deep.
I'm dead.
I go point. Point Genji, I'm Genji. Genji one.
Genji.
Let's go right.
Go.
Mercy one.
Point.
I think there's a lot being said there. You can see, again, the way the calling structure works on this particular team seems fairly democratic, but that's an impressive defensive hold on this map. Again, not something you see very often.
And a lot of the point B holds we've had that have been successful have been because of the Junkrat on the high ground, right? No Junkrat on the side of the Valiant there. They just go Genji, Tracer, they just dive them pretty straightforward. You know, whether they're going for that bottom left side, they get very aggressive on the Libero who's playing the McCree. They push him all the way back. Whether they're going for the high ground, they did a great job denying access there. There's great defense from the Los Angeles Valiant. Now we get to see NYXL on the defensive end. So it looks like here you will be seeing the Orisa Roadhog combination setting up on the high ground with Libero on the Junkrat. Sabiel V playing Widowmakers. This is a very difficult setup we've seen. The teams have a tough time breaking this.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where you really need to get the theory nailed down about, how theoretically, how do we pick apart this composition? It's about knowing what to play, but also why you play a particular attacking comp to break this kind of high ground sort of turtle hole.
Well, we saw Philly have a really tough time trying to break this down in the series that we casted previously, right? They just kept jumping up towards that high ground. They just kept trying to fight it every single time. Now, what do you do here? You go down that bottom left-hand side, force it back towards the point. You deny some access for Sabiel B on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, if you try and play the left side, you're at risk of getting picked off by Sabiel B before you get to the point. It's a problem.
And if you go down this bottom right, you're also in trouble of just, a ton of small area down there, just getting chunked down by Junkrat, right? Just Junkrat just poking over and over and over again.
Exactly. Playing in this room is so risky. Yeah, Envy. You can save the pleasantries for after, mate. Thinking about the approach. So, I mean, there's no real easy way of going about this because of the presence of the Junkrat and the Widow. They both do different things differently. And the attackers, again, their options are kind of limited if either of those heroes are popping off at NYXL.
Well, I guess here's your best option if you're the Los Angeles Valiant. If you're soon, you can get onto the point, and it looks like they're only sending Libero down here on the Junkrat, so that takes away a ton of front damage coming out on that high ground. Libero gets the best of Soon there. Mecha will take out Silk Thread. But I did like that strategy there from the Valiant. Soon forces Libero down from the high ground, then you can go up, challenge it a little bit harder.
So different teams have kind of gone about this different ways. Some have used Lucio to speed boost them, straight around like the opposite side to where the Excelsior are holding, so push around the left if you're looking from the attacker's perspective. Some have gone straight under them, by the way, and that's actually been one of the most effective plays. You just run under the platform where Janice and Neko are standing right now. I believe we saw that yesterday on a couple of occasions. Right now they're trying to use Soon to win a 1v1 against a Junkrat, which is not an easy job, especially with having double mines and all that. There might be something more solid here.
I've actually liked some of the play we've seen with Sombra on offense here on Horizon Lunar Colony, right? You get that EMP, whether it's on the point or whether it's up on the high ground. There you go. So Libero goes down from that high ground. They come in around the other side, and Envy takes him out. Now you have a few members here for the Valiant on the point. They've already got one tick, getting very close to taking another.
Yeah, it's important. Remember, all they need to do is to finish the map, essentially. So the ticks here, even if they're not going to win, the fight immediately is okay. They still have a couple of minutes, and they're saving ultimates. This is the most important part. They're banking support ultimates. Valkyrie and the Transcendence is available for the Valiant, whereas on the side of the XL, it's only that Valk. No real true AoE healing.
Well, you have Dragon Blade as well here for the Valiant. So you have Dragon Blade, self-destruct. All you had to use there was Primal Rage, and you forced out Whole Hog and Transcendence from the side of NYXL.
That's not how you want to start this fight at all.
Not ideal. Libero here with this Rip Tire, though, could be huge, right? We've seen Rip Tire, there's a lot of spots where you can run it up walls here. You can chase Karif if he goes into Valk.
If the Valiant lead is too long, so they could have used Karif there to get a res to go in with the Valkyrie and start the fight. It's a bit telegraphed, but if they leave it too long, a Riptire can completely screw the Valiant over here. It can just mess them up entirely. Libero coming in again. This is an interesting battle. It's not like a standard 1v1 you maybe expect to see, but this is going to be one of the more important ones. Core. Fade down again.
And he almost doesn't even need to win it, just needs to kind of stay there and contest the point, right? Doesn't really need to even
this is big.
Fight that. Okay, so Soon actually connects with the pulse bomb there on a Libero arc here with Valkyrie. He's going to use it. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Silk Thread.
Silk Thread goes low. We've got a bit of healing, and now he's looking for a second bite of the apple, and he's real hungry for it. Mako down. Eventually he does fall, though. It was Libero to hit him with a concussive mine. Envy's mech gets taken down because it was caught up there on the point. Fate gets his face blown up. The Transcendence for Unko. The timing wasn't great. The positioning also wasn't stellar. Now he's going to go for a 1v1 against Dronak. Oh, Kareem! It's a gentleman's duel. What are you doing? He still gets involved and he gives the Valiant a chance. Unko maybe just a sigh of relief that he didn't have to face up against that Titan 1v1, but the Valiant don't have the point yet. The shielding for Orisa is making it a little bit hard for them to get full control, but they're a little bit closer now. The reinforcements are coming for NYXL.
You do have Jonak potentially coming back into the fight, getting very close to a Transcendence. Meko takes out Fate here.
They've got to go now.
Final few seconds here for the Valiant. They need to get on the point.
Silk Thread, no Dragon Bite to be seen soon, getting picked off in this fight there. No way to bring him back. There's no Valkyrie available for Kree, but it's a 1v1. Meko down, but Silk Thread falls, and no, the wheels are falling off the bus, and the Valiant seem to have taken a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Failing to get that first point. And again, it's a game of interest, man, but at the end of the day, you look at that scoreboard, and it reads 2-0 in favor of the NYXL.
And Janus there on the point. The supercharger was huge there. The Orisa ultimate that gives the damage boost to everybody in the AoE because they had lost Libero, lost Saviel, be at that moment in time. It's just him, Meko, and both supports, and you give Jonak the damage boost. He can do a lot of work with it.
Unlike many teams, especially, predominantly Western teams we've seen, the Valiant are actually very good at defending. A lot of their defensive halves have been their best, as opposed to teams being very good at attacking and being aggressive in other maps. But it's time now to pull their socks up and get ready, because we're going to be heading into control after the break. Some brawl action here in the Blizzard Arena.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel.